Good afternoon, Namibia, and it's a pleasure to once again be in touch with you, our business people from all over Namibia. We greet you from wherever you are, whether you are in the south, the north, the east, the west, or the central, that we are having today. The first one started in October, second one in November. We had a break in December, and we had a break in January. We are now in February, so we are having our third. And we would like to thank you for having tuned in. You could have done other things, but you deemed it very important that you want to listen to our expert speakers today to share what they have. We invite you to sit back and relax, listen to them, take notes, ask questions when the opportunity arises so that we can go on this journey together. It's all about making sure that we regrow the Namibian economy. It's not about ourselves, it's about the Namibian economy and the people of Namibia that we need to get back on track during these difficult times. My name is Isaac Hamata. I will quickly introduce to you the esteemed panel on my right, starting on my far right. My co-host today, Desiree Miller. She will be co-hosting and also be looking at the types of questions that you are having, and we will be sharing those questions with our panelists, and they will answer as they deem appropriate. On her left is Afra Shiming Chase, a well-known figure in the financial wellness space. Those of you that have watched TV, read newspapers and so on, would have seen her, would have read about her, would have heard her, the expert advice that she gives. We thank her, and we thank the Almighty that she could make it today. And then we have our, I don't know what I will call Norbert van Wyk, but we will introduce himself better. I just had a reflection about the type of work that people like you do. It's behind the scenes, but it's very important to get us going. It's a psychological part of running a business. But I'll introduce you better when we get to your part of a presentation. And then we have our resident presenter, resident analyst, Felicia Joste from Standard Bank. She's in charge of Enterprise Direct. So this is your esteemed panel today, and we hope that we will have a fruitful and an engaging webinar or online business talk. We really want you to listen. We really want you to ask questions, because that's really the aim of this business talk. It's about taking out so much that you are going to run your business better, that you are going to share with the person that did not have the opportunity to be here today. It's about sharing and caring and helping each other and the country grow. Of the previous two webinars and what they were about, and she also has a surprise for us in store.
Thank you, Isaac, and welcome everybody watching us today to this third session. In November, we had our second talk that was about Show Me the Money. And this talk basically focused on, for you, all the skills that you need to manage your finances, the value of a good business plan and how to align that with your financial requirements. Also the pitfalls and tips that our esteemed speakers at that talk that gave us, or how to run your business to become successful, and then also how to monitor your progress and report to your partners, and most of all your banking partner. Now for this session, our topic is prepare for the future and the opportunities that come through this year. Now I know that everybody or most people that I know couldn't wait for 2020 to bid farewell to 2020. Now that, as it may be, that has also set the scene for 2021. And I think that is what this talk will be all about. We had to make a huge amount of changes to adapt and survive within our businesses in 2020. And for 21, we need to plan and prepare to see how we're going to implement that, because innovation at the end of the day is not just about new devices and methods and ideas. It's also identifying the process or setting processes in place where you can continue changing and adapting as you go along. And this can be new business models or and even achieve better production and new services and products that you want to put in the market. Now, with all of this, we know that it's created a huge amount of stress for everybody, and that's why with our first talk, we're going to look at the strength of having a positive mindset, not just that, but to have a resilient mindset. to help you through this year, and that is what our first speaker will be talking about. And for this huge economic change that has happened, that gave so much stress to all of us, and also to cope with your competitors in this market that has now become much smaller, and because of that, a lot more competitive. As Shakespeare said, "For there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so." And with that, I would like to move across to Isak to then introduce our first speaker for today.
Thank you very much, Desiree. That was insightful and a good recap so that we understand what the background is, where we are coming from. Our first speaker, and I now have the opportunity to introduce him, Norbert van Wyk. He is a confidence coach and a facilitator. He used to be a teacher, and I think that goes without saying. When you must have some teaching element about you if you do the kind of job that you're doing. But he is now a specialized confidence coach. He helps individuals to deal with the challenges of professional and personal communication. His public speaking and conflict resolution courses impart lasting skills to participants to handle highly emotional life events. He holds a BA in education from UNAM and also courses in public speaking. He is the founder of The Real Big Brother, a rehabilitation course for abusive men. Very important. Abusive men, take note, nobody's here. We will share his details afterwards so that we reduce the amount of abuse we impart on our women and our girl children. He's also the co-founder of Star Brain Coach Namibia, providing soft skills training, coaching, and psychological assessment. He is involved with community projects, just like me, like gender violence prevention events, and youth development projects on a national level. We would like to thank you very much that you have taken your time. I know you pay yourself by the hour. When you are not in practice, you don't get money. So we welcome you here and we thank you for your time that you have taken to share with the rest of Namibia what they need to do, what they need to go through, how they deal with the stresses of losing a business, of not making enough money, all of those. I give it over to you, Norbert.
Thank you so much, Isak. It is really an honor. It is totally a privilege for me to be here. I first of all, I wouldn't talk about myself. I think that was very elaborate, and I feel very small to hear things about myself. But I think let's go into what we are here for. And all right, first of all, Namibia, good day, and wherever you are at, I greet you, and we are happy to have this conversation with you today. First of all, what I'd like to say, saying that your worth is not determined by the size of your bank account. Your worth is not determined by the size of your bank account. How much money you have in your purse, in your wallet right now, does not have to make you feel like a failure in life. All right. So why do I say this? While we are on that point, why do I say this? You see, there are many people who are very famous, and they get all the attention because of their popularity and their riches. And they will sit down and tell you that the money in their bank account does not determine how they feel about themselves. Sadly so, many of our beloved famous people, they use drugs, super drugs, to keep a public life. And in private, they collapse. Now, why are we saying this? We are talking about worth. You need, when you birth a business, you need to understand, first of all, who you are, because the challenges of a business, and even when problems arise, you need to deal with it from the inside. And something that is very important at this stage for us as a country is that every Namibian and every citizen of Africa need to take this responsibility on themselves to make sure that the next generation will not complain about other people in other countries who are living luxuriously on the wealth of the resources of our Africa. This is very important that at this stage that we learn and we educate this generation how to honor and how to steward the resources that we have. And first of all, like I said, we need to have every person first understand their personal value. Now, I'm just giving a glimpse there of what is the resources in Africa. I'm not going to go deeply into this. It's just basically for you to see how much gold, how much resources we have. And then there we see on another slide, there we see 192 billion that just goes out of Africa, and it didn't go right into the pocket of someone right in Africa. So that I will leave there. I'm here to talk about, I just dropped that with you because this is not the time to fear. This is not the time to fear. This is the time of a resilient life. It is time that we demonstrate the resilient life in word, in speech, and in action. We have to demonstrate this life because the thing is this, Isaac, the thing is this, that the answers of this new era are within us. It is locked up in the sons and daughters that sits at our tables right now. And therefore, if you're an adult person, you have to demonstrate the resilient life. You need to be unbreakable. So what do we mean with this? When we say the resilient life, as you look at this picture here, we look at that flower. The resilient life, or resilience in definition, means that you are able to bounce back when trouble comes. You are able to be flexible in adversity, and when changes come, you are able to be fluid. You are not so rigid in your character and in your inner life that you break under the circumstances. So you are like water, you are fluid, and you fill in all the spaces that you can move through. You're looking for new opportunities, and you live this out with deliberate passion for life. So just there to so focusing too much on the past cannot get us anywhere. And we need to be flexible and adaptable. So yes, if something happens, we need to bounce back quickly. Dust yourself off and move quickly. But now I want to talk about something very, very, very seriously. First of all, we talk about the resilient life, but we need to be aware of what attacks or what is actually coming after us to make us non-resilient. And first of all, the first public enemy number one at this stage in Namibia. Sorry, Afra, I was just looking all the time there. The public enemy number one in right all over the world right now is hopelessness. Hopelessness is something that knocks at everybody's door right now. Maybe not everyone, but many people. So, and the cousin of hopelessness is fear. Fear is the one. Fear comes like fear knocks at the door. Fear wants to come in. When fear comes in, fear opens up your emotional life to all the other spies of your adversary who wants to take you down. Then at the end of the day, we become paranoid. At the end of the day, we feel depressed. At the end of the day, we feel we need to blame someone. Someone is responsible for where I'm at in life. That creates unforgiveness in our life. These are all emotions that come up and ultimately leads us to a point of hopelessness. So what we need to do at this stage is this. Not to become hopeless. We need to barricade, put a roadblock at our thoughts. We need to think about what we think. How does this happen? Your positive thoughts and negative thoughts are in competition to enter into the reality of your life. Toxic thoughts want to take real estate in your brain. When I think, you see, your imagination was given to you to be able to see, to envision the future. So in your imagination, you can see things coming and you can take hold of it. But if your imagination is is filled with toxic thoughts, all right? What happens is this, it releases anxiety into the system, fear into the system. And when that happens, this is where sicknesses come. This is where stomach ulcers come from. This is where headaches come from. And this is, very importantly, what I want to say is where it comes that we are not able to make decisions for the future. If I am in a fearful, anxious state, I need to put a roadblock and say, you thoughts, you imaginations, I'm going to counter you today. You are saying to me that I don't have a future. You are saying to me that because of my business that had failed, because of the mistakes that I've made in my personal life, that I don't have a right for a future, and also not my children. No, you cannot accept this, not at this point. And we, as I said, we cannot wait for the first world countries to decide the future of this country. We need to birth dreams right now and make use of the digital platform that they are to solve a need for somebody somewhere in the world using the digital platform that we have. And we need to believe in that and pursue that. Coming back to the roadblock in your mind, these thoughts, you need to eradicate. How do you do it? You need to think opposite thoughts of what you have been thinking. Start to say things contrary to these lies about your future that you are hearing. And even if you have reason, I am saying this to someone specifically out there, if you feel you have done everything that you can in your power to live a good life, to build a business, and to move forward in life, and you feel that everything possible that could happen wrong and go wrong in your life, it did go wrong. Anything and everything bad that could happen did happen to you. And today you are saying, yes, I today have a reason to give up. And I have a reason to feel worthless. And I have a reason to just quit and be hopeless. Wake up, because that is a lie. There is never a time in your life that you should feel that you are hopeless. In every circumstance, in every situation, there is always a way of escape. And right now, I'm saying this for every people because of the virus and things that we are talking about, that we know goes about. Even if you do not feel you have breath, in the past we say as long as there's breath, there is hope. I'm saying to you, even if you do not feel the breath for a few moments in your body, hear this, and feel the hope in your life, feel the breath, do not lose hope. Because your hope is the anchor that puts you in the seat of rest. When you enter into the place of rest, then comes the inspiration for your future. Only when you rest. So, to everybody who's listening today, if you forget anything that I said, there is never a time that you should feel that the room is dark, you have to quit and it is over. That is never the case. That is a lie. That is a lie. Make a decision. Go and sit still, become quiet, and allow yourself to find the root of what makes you fear. Find the root of what makes you feel hopeless. And I want you to find a way of escape. With the help of our Lord, you are able, all of us are able to eradicate this hopelessness out of our system. And today I'm not just talking. I'm not just talking because I want to have a big mouth. I'm talking from my heart to everybody out there. If you're dealing with sickness, if you're dealing with your business that had failed, it is time to birth a new dream. Your indebtedness, this letters of demands that comes does not determine your value. Stop fear in its tracks now and start to use everything that happened to you. Use it for your benefit. Learn to birth a new dream. And I'm sitting here today, 3 years ago, the impossible happened in my life. The whole support system of my life was taken away. There's not a lot of time to explain this. And I have also come through a process where doctors have told me that I have a brain tumor. I've had headaches for 3 years, non-stop, day and night. I lost my whole body, my muscular, my physical strength. And not even to think about the emotional and the mental impact that it had on my life. But today I sit here by God's grace and I'm telling you that it is possible to change your emotions. Emotions are changeable. Your mental state is changeable. So start today and find the way of escape. Thank you.
Wow. I need to give you a
Yes, thank you.
I need to give you a round of applause. That's very insightful, Norbert. Thank you very much. And as I was listening to you, I suppose you also preach on Sundays. You also
Maybe not
preach
only on Sundays.
You must. If you don't, consider that too. I think there's a powerful message that comes out of you,
Thank you.
and many more people need to hear it.
Okay.
Many more people need to be inspired
I
by
take
what
that-
you have gone
I
through,
take that to
what you
heart.
know,
Very
so that we all get to a stage where we are all living a fine life. When I mean fine, I don't mean you must have money, but you have a pure, clean heart. You know that you have tried your best.
Yeah.
You have done what you could to be where you are today.
Yeah.
And I think you and many others in your trade should consider doing this more often and more publicly so that we can all benefit from that. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And to our audience out there, if you have questions to Norbert, please post them on the link, the Discord link that has been sent to you, or through which you have registered to join this online talk, so that he can share more of his thoughts as you ask questions. Because psychological issues, we don't talk about them, especially in our culture where it's taboo to complain, to be seen as having failed. But the reality is everybody fails at some point, and you need to just wake up, dust yourself up, and do things better the next time. There's an opportunity now. Please make sure you engage him, whether now or later on. We'll share his details, as I said, but now is an opportunity to ask questions. These questions will be, the space will be open for after the webinar has ended, so that you can ask questions. He will get to them, and they will answer those questions, so that everybody can get empowered at the end of the day. That's really why we have this thing. It's not for fun. We could have done other things, but we really want to make sure that our business people, wherever they are, they pick at least one thing from this, and that they take it and they build resilience around them. Now, Desiree, there's a surprise that you have.
Yes, I actually wanted to do it a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
But got swept away in the start of this online talk. Standard Bank has given us, or is giving, a prize with every online talk. Now, with our first talk that we had in October, our prize was a 10,000 cash prize courtesy of Standard Bank. And we are very fortunate to have our winner here with us today. And I'd like her to come forward and for Isak to hand over her prize. It's Roman Utoni. And she's all the way from Ungadiva. And she has Empress Brands Organic Meals. And congratulations.
We can't shake hands. We will do the Namibian way, which is, I don't know what's the difference though, but congratulations. You have traveled all the way to receive your prize. It's a cash prize. You can choose whether we put it in your bank account, you can pay it to you via PayPal, whatever mode. We have many platforms where we can send that money to you. You must just choose which one. Okay. And before you reach Ondangwa Ngwediwa or Shakati, the money will be there before you. Okay. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you
very much. Yeah. And let this be an encouragement to everybody. Participate. We are posting questions for every speaker. There will be a question. We want to test whether you have followed. And if you are the correct answerer, that's a word I'm creating now, you stand the chance to be considered as one of the winners. We will go into a draw and we'll see who the winner is, and you can walk away with a grand prize. We have a third prize that we are going to announce later today. So my sister, congratulations once again. All the best.
Okay, while we're waiting for everybody to start posing questions, please, the link that I sent you for the video, just underneath it, there's a Discord link. Please link onto that, go into that link. The competition link will be in the Discord chat room. only people that are joining us online will be able to participate in the competition. It will be open for the duration of the webinar, and at the end, obviously we'll give you some time to recap and answer all the questions, and to answer all the competition questions, and also pose some questions for our panelists throughout this whole online talk. Now, I've got one question that has already come through, and Norbert, I just want to ask you, of what you said, the importance for small business owners to maintain their self-worth, the importance of that, even when they're struggling so financially. Can you just tell us a little bit about that self-worth issue that most of us have?
You see, the thing is what we do, the mistake that we make in life in general, is that let me ask a question like this. How much, okay, I ask a question to everybody. All the roles that you fulfill in life, you are a parent, someone is a teacher, someone is obviously then a business owner. The roles you play as a mother, as a father, as whatever you do in life, a sports person, any person, we have the tendency to give ourselves when we do it. Okay, I have done it well in that, in the framework of, if you're a soccer player, how many goals did you score? Okay, I didn't score so much goals.
Yeah.
Okay, my business didn't make so much money. Okay, my business is failing now. My business is really folding now. The mistake that we make, we make the business us.
Yeah.
We are not the business.
Oh.
The business is just a role. It is a service that you produce to the community. When you fail, failure is never supposed to be seen as you, as a person, is a failure.
Yeah.
Failure is always supposed to be used as just something that you learn from. All right. So, with the mistake we make, we give ourselves, okay, I out of 10 now, out of 10, when my business have now failed, I say, okay, fine, I'm like some -7, and that -7 I carry in my emotions. It drains me down. It draws from my life. It draws from who I am. When I realize, okay, fine, this is what I did. People need to learn to forgive themselves for the failures that they are making. Mm-hmm. If you failed, learn to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Ask God for forgiveness where you have failed. And when you have done that, then you need to forget about your actual failure and not connect it to who you are as a person, your value.
Yeah.
Your value should never be affected by any failure in your life. Even if your marriage failed, your business failed, that you must dust yourself off and say, I am going to start a new life, even if I have to pursue that woman again.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, there's congratulations for you. Yes. Okay. And the other question is you talking about the image of running water and
Right.
being flexible, but there's also a flip side to that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you at some stage make a stand?
Can you elaborate a little more?
Well, you say you need to be flexible and go with the flow, but
Yeah. Yeah, like you cannot be tossed through and through. That's
Yeah.
why, No, that is why you must have a personal vision. Every family must have a vision.
Yeah.
Every individual must have a vision. You must know why you are here. What is your life mission? What is your life purpose? That is easier. It's easier to navigate your life when you understand actually why you have the set of skills that you have, who you are, because every person is unique. There's no one who have the tongue print that you have, eye print that you have, fingerprint that you have. No one can walk like you. No one take the same stride as you, and therefore, the uniqueness that you have, that is also adding to your value. Why do we put value to diamonds in the first place?
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to find them. It's so hard to produce them.
Yeah.
The thing is this: we talk about the value of the resources in Africa, but even more greater than that. The physical resources are so great, but oh my goodness, the people resources of Africa is the real wealth that we are sitting with here. And so every person needs to sit in their own life and say, okay, this is where I'm going. This is my value system. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. And anything that is outside of that, that is where you do not flow there.
Okay.
Then you become an ice block. There,
Yes.
like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's not another question. I just wanted to elaborate on, I think what is important also that came out was that you said that you need to separate yourself from your business as a separate entity and just a role that it's not you.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very valuable lesson for most people to learn because I mean, even as a mother, I always go back to the mother thing, but what your children do, we always feel guilty about everything our children, even if you have, it's not your responsibility or have any control over it, but that you need to separate you from that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, we're going to have a short break. And please, the Discord chat room, please connect. All the questions are there. Or please pose the questions. We want to more participation. So have your questions that will be open for the duration of the webinar until the next talk. And you are welcome to pose questions to the speakers. They will be available to answer these questions. And also the competition form. The link is there that you can answer the first question. There will be a question from each presentation. So thank you so much, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
I believe in standard bang. It can be. It can be.
We can make it happen. You can make it happen. We can make it happen. We're racing the bar. We're thinking forward. And we're raising our people. Driven to win. Being proactive. Working in teams. Serving the clients. I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. That it can be.
We'll be moving forward. Never, never morning. Plenty, plenty respect. Everybody's racing. And no, Chile, it can be.
It can be.
Cause we're driven to win.
Driven to win.
I believe in all our hearts. I can change and build and grow. As a team, we're never apart. I believe in the African soul. This is the melody. This is the sound of integrity. We're working on everyone's dream. I said it again. We're driven to win.
I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. That it can be.
Dit kan wees met Standardbank. Ons bloed is blauw, behou die Spangees. Dit kan wees met Standardbank. Ons bloed is blauw, behou die Spangees.
Bankasa, Standard Bank, Kubura.
wadating omsna sadati abote ikeira domda kera wadating omsna sadati abote ikeira wakuna hala kubanga hala wakuna hala kubanga hala wakuna hala kubanga hala wakuna hala Impossible people's dreams. We believe in our Namibian soul. Our focus.
Welcome back from that, should I call it a commercial break or a body break? But anyway, it was yeah, a lipstick break. Anyway, it was a break, and I hope you have taken the time to just do a bit of coffee or water or anything, because the plane is about to fly once again from one destination to the other. Now, I was born in Lutherets, and I went to seek for education in the Erongo region. I got my wife in commerce. But other people are internationalists. They were born in Germany, educated in Switzerland and France, and now they work in Namibia. So there are levels to these things. Yeah, and that's our next speaker, Afra Shiming Chase. Very passionate about financial empowerment and supports her clients in creating and maintaining positive relationship with money. I think it's very important that you must have a relationship with money. When your money gets into your bank account, you can't just grab it out immediately. It must relax. It must feel that it's somewhere having a nice feeling. So, and Afra is there to help us understand that better. She helps us, me included, to stay out of debt while building powerful financial futures which reflect their highest aspirations and wildest dreams. This is the motto she lives by. How you do money is how you do life. Afra, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Isak, you've actually given away my age a little bit because you refer to me being international. It wasn't necessarily by choice. I was born in the days of apartheid, and I was born in exile. So Namibia is my home, and this is what I return to. But I share that because it does give us a sense of challenging times can have some very serious gems in them. It afforded me an international life. Had we not been through what we had been through, maybe I wouldn't have known that, yeah? Okay, and so 2020, if I can just get the presentation, 2020 was definitely a year of unprecedented change, or that's how it felt to all of us. Things were going so fast. I don't think any of us were ready, and I don't even want to tell you where I was, because I'm actually still surprised that I'm alive today. I thought 2020 was it. And I've been tasked with sharing a practical plan to how do we innovate, how do we plan, and how do we prepare and implement for the year ahead. And a few years ago, I came across this slide, or this quote, that was called, from Zora Neale Hurston, who is an author, an Afro-American author. And she says, there are years that ask questions and years that answer. And I don't know how we are feeling about 2021. Is it a year that's going to answer? Is it a year full of questions? Are we optimistic? Are we not? Are we in 2020 extended, or is this really a new time? But be that as it may, I don't think it really makes a difference. You know, whether you're facing a personal loss, whether you are facing economic downturn, whether you are facing a worldwide pandemic, I think what defines us as human beings is how do we react to the challenge that we face. And I read something somewhere that said, do you fall hard or do you hit hard? And I'd like to believe that most of us here would rather hit hard, hit back in the face of adversity, and use these challenges as opportunities for ourselves to actually keep moving forward. Because the one thing that I think life and business have in common is that you have no choice. You have to keep moving forward, whatever it is that comes your way. I'm very excited that I had this opportunity to prepare for this presentation, because it took me back to reading some of the books I was told to read when I started a small business, some of which I never touched. But yeah, that's what 2020 does to you. It forces you to go back into things that you didn't look at before. And one of those books is The E-Myth Revisited, The Entrepreneurial Myth Revisited, which is very well known, probably the Bible of small business, written by Michael E. Gerber.
And then I also had a look at Marnus Broodrijk's 90 Rules for Entrepreneurs, or better known as the Codex of Hustle. And then I had the opportunity to check online and watch an online talk with the Gordon Institute of Business Science on finance, on small business survival during these times. And I would like to encourage those of you who are listening in today to use the opportunity to actually go online. Go and have a look on LinkedIn. There are so many free resources available now that actually make navigating these times so much easier. Yeah? So that's what I had access to as I, got into it. Okay, I hope everybody doesn't see my gesticulations as the point is not going forward. I'd like to start with, when we look at a practical guide, where do we begin? How do we make this 2021, whatever it brings us, a year that is a year to remember, but not for the challenges, but rather for the opportunities that we were able to take? And one of the things I did this year is I said to myself, 2020 was not a very good year from a business perspective. I don't think that's out of the ordinary, actually, right? And so when I sat with service providers, I'm a financial planner by trade, and we sat down with various service providers, and I got a lovely journal. And when I opened the journal, the first thing it said is, what's your word for the year? You know, we talk about purpose, we talk about vision, we talk about having great habits and implementing these things as we go on. But what word do we choose for the year? And what word did you choose for the year? Yeah? Because I think when we have a purpose to what we are doing, then it actually gives us something to work towards, right? So a word I heard a lot was pivot. How many of us had to pivot in our businesses, had to forget some of the things that we were doing before, looking at what was unproductive and change? How many of us are nimble? How many of us are using the word ingenuity or resilience? As our president said, for this year, our word is resilience or purpose. For me, the word I chose for 2021 is presence. And I remember sharing this with someone who said to me, but presence is a very big thing to call on. And I agree, but I feel that in 2020, I was not present. I was numb. I was fearful. I was hopeless. I had no clue that I would still be alive. And so, since I'm still here, maybe it would be good for me to be present. Yeah. Maybe it would be good for me to focus in each moment that I'm in and be present and have presence. So I invite you guys, those of you who are listening in, please go ahead and think of a word for yourself. What is going to define you? What is going to keep you going when the challenges come? Because trust me, uncertainty is the name of the game. We said 2020 created change. 2021 is cementing change, right? It's something that we are always going to face. So what are you going to move back to? What's going to hold you together when things get rough? Yeah? Oh, I thought you were trying to give me a message. Sorry.
I agree with you.
Thank you. The next thing is, I referred you to this online talk, and I really encourage you to go and have a look at it with Keith Fairhurst. And he shared a matrix around how to deal with rebooting. How do we assist leaders after this world pandemic, and how do we move forward? And in this matrix, there are 4 areas that he looks at. He looks at coping, for which we need resilience. He looks at a financial survival plan. He looks at scenarios and agility, and then he looks at repurposing for the future. And I'm not going to try in my presentation to do any justice to what he has done. He is clearly very good at what he does. And it's available online, and it's free. Just go and type in there, Small Businesses Survival Plan, LinkedIn, Keith Fairhurst, and you will find the talk, which I really enjoyed. What really struck me and what I'd like to spend some time on was the second portion, where he speaks of a financial survival plan. And what struck me was the words, lengthen your runway. And I asked myself, how long is your runway? How much time have you got until there's nothing in the kitty? How much time have you got until you get paid for the work that you've done? How do you invoice, right? I, on the side, I mean, I don't know if I call myself a serial entrepreneur or whatever it is that I do. But I also, in 2020, I was so afraid that financial planning would serve no purpose that I got really, really focused about my other business, which was making hot sauces. And, you know, when you look at your invoicing process, now every Friday I must send an invoice to that shop and say, listen, can you please pay my invoice, right? What do you put on your invoice? Does it say payable immediately? Do you have a 7 to 14 day timeline, or is it 30 days or longer? And if you are looking at where the world is now, can you afford to actually have that much time before the money comes into the business? What are your costs looking like? How many of us know of people who've been retrenched, who are no longer working? Even till this day, we've got big businesses, and I'm not just going to talk about NMB because that's not all that we have, guys, by the way. There's a lot more going on in this country of ours. Many bigger shops might be closing down. Isn't that an opportunity for the small man to come up with a new idea to generate revenue? How many unproductive assets do we have sitting around that don't work? Sell them. Convert them into cash so that you have cash flow, because cash flow is probably the most important thing in your business. We say cash is king for all businesses. For entrepreneurial businesses, cash is God with a small g. Yeah? So really important to look at. Everyone hates doing a budget, including myself, right? Let's be honest about it. We do not like to budget. But if you have a purpose, if you have a word for the year, if you have something that is driving you, right, reminding you to keep hitting hard, then it's easier to do your budget. And maybe what 2020 has done is has shown us how much more focused we need to be, how many issues we may have had in our businesses that we've not been paying attention to, and that we've now been forced to pay attention to. And to steal a little bit from what Norbert has said, you know, we speak of a resilient mind, and we speak of building resilience as a skill set, which is really the ability to withstand future shocks, maybe even reach a point where we are able to anticipate them. Have a look at how we look at things now. What happened when COVID-19 started? How many people do you know who started a sanitizing business or a mask business? Now it's standard. Now everybody's got masks, everybody's got sanitizers, every shop has got it. So what's the next thing? Are you broadening your own skill set? Are you diversifying what you are able to do so that you are able to take on new things when the opportunities arise, because they will definitely come? My favorite is Mr. Gerber, right, who wrote, as I said, the E-myth, the entrepreneurial myth revisited. And when I looked at what he referred to in terms of business processes, everyone is talking about innovation, innovation, innovation. And what does it mean to innovate? What does it mean to use your creative thinking in a manner that you actually generate new ideas that work for your business? Innovation actually answers the question, and this is hard for us to hear as Namibians. What is standing in the way of my customer getting what she wants from my business? That's innovation. We keep asking ourselves the question, so what is standing in the way of your customer at Standard Bank getting getting what she wants in the business? And that's the question we consistently need to keep answering. But it doesn't stop there. And that's where we're challenged, because none of us wants to sit and plan. I attended a lovely course at the beginning of the year, online Zoom, what, lovely, put your life into 4 quarters. Then in the 4 quarters, take each month, decide each day what you're going to do. I still haven't done it, because it's just not something that comes naturally. But there's value in it, because when you quantify, you get to see the impact of the innovation. Why would I take on digitalizing or exploring service efficiencies or finding ways of doing business that cost less? I need to be able to see the difference that it has made to the business. And maybe from that, I can then see how to make the business even more alive with new possibilities. But the third area is to orchestrate. So when you think of an orchestra, you think of a symphony in sync, you think of everyone working together. It means that we actually take discretion or choice out of the business. So we streamline. We do the same things consistently over and over and over again, and that's what gets us to where we need to be. So when we're looking at a powerful habit, that powerful habit requires a foundation. It reminds me of someone who's quite active online, I think Hermine Elago. She set herself a goal of getting to her goal weight by the date of her birthday. So she had a word for the year. She had a purpose. She had something. By X to Y by when is the formula, right? So between this date and that date, here's where I need to be. And Bob's your uncle. The day of her birthday, she posts, and I think she was maybe less than 2 kilos off what she had planned for herself, right? And often what challenges us with coming up with new habits or sticking to them is the fact that we've not created a foundation for them. We've not created a vision for them. We don't keep reminding ourselves on a daily basis, Afra, are you present? Are you here in this moment? Or are you checking your phone? Right? Have you put your phone on flight mode? Or are you seeing what comments are coming in? By the way, did we get any words for the year? Did anybody put in words for the year?
Words for the year.
Yes, remember the word for the year? Where
Oh,
I
yes,
said-
they said hashtag cementing.
Hashtag cementing. I like
Cementing
that.
change. Yeah.
Cementing change. There,
There
we
you
go.
go.
Was there anything else?
No, that's come through twice
I
already.
like it. Cementing change.
Yeah.
Very good. Keep that one up. Yes. So, in summary, I think 2021. How do you use a practical guide? How do you plan? How do you prepare? And how do you innovate? And as you move in and implement into the year ahead, which is already in the second month. But if you are like me, it's actually the first year of the month. So that was another gem that I got from attending this course, because by the end of January, I'd only worked for 2 weeks, but I felt like I had achieved nothing. I felt like January meant nothing. And this facilitator actually reminded us that, well, give yourself a star for January, right? I mean, nothing happens in Namibia anyway in January, right? So give yourself a star, an extra holiday, and then make February the beginning of your month, which I did. So just to recap and kind of summarize what I've attempted to share with you guys today is the first thing is to develop powerful habits, repeat them daily, but link them to your purpose, link them to your vision. Take them somewhere where they feel within you and where they inspire you and motivate you to keep going. The second thing, keep your clients close. They are the gems in your business. They are the ones that show you what you need to do differently to keep them going or to keep them. Because clearly, if everybody is selling hand sanitizer, you want to make sure that you sell the best hand sanitizer, right? So another way of thinking of innovation, and this is also a quote from Mr. Gerber, he says, innovation is the signature of a bold, imaginative hand. It is the best way skill, and that's a great way of looking at it. The third thing, interrogate every single aspect of your business and do this regularly. Think about your business in a structured way. It might require scenario planning, and then checking in and noticing that actually, no, that which I've planned, it's something completely different that's going to happen. So therefore, also take it one day at a time. And when you're thinking about your business, that includes thinking about you. Because the level of challenge that we have faced as human beings in the last year is heavy. So acknowledge that. Come from a space of acknowledgement. Be clear that, yes, it was rough. And then remind yourself, like my sister always says, keep moving forward, one foot in front of the other. And now the opportunity we have for 2021 is really to focus on what's next. The now is gone. You know, we are living history as we create it. I think this is one of the few times that we've experienced it this way. The word I like is be agile, be curious, be ready for the turnaround. So being agile lets me think of a springbok actually, you know, because the springbok is light on its feet and it jumps very easily. But it also reminds me of Muhammad Ali, who said, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So hit him hard. And my last message for you today is to remember that the paradox of freedom is that in disciplined life, true freedom slips away. So it is the discipline, it is the commitment, it is the willingness to show up every day. It doesn't matter how many times you get it wrong, keep showing up. Because if you want the freedom of a great life, you've got to be willing to put in the raw material, which is discipline and commitment. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
A round of
Afra.
applause for Afra. Thank you. Before I hand over to Desiree, I just want to share what I've observed from your talk. Nothing major.
Nothing major.
2020 will be with us for the next 9 years. You have 2021
It's true.
this
Yes.
year,
Yes.
2022 next year, 2023. So we'll have to be resilient.
Yes. Very
So
true.
it's not something we do today and it solves our problems today. We must go through the long haul. These things we are doing are not for today. sometimes you won't get an immediate result. The result will come after some time, after you have, as Avra said, repeated this many times and tweaked and changed. So you have to do it as often as possible so that you get used to it, so that that thing also gets used to you doing it. I hope I'm clear. The next one, Afra, I've got a very brilliant idea for which people must pay me. You said
Yes.
everybody does sanitizers. The
Yes.
difference is in what type of sanitizer. Mine is strawberry flavored sanitizer.
There you go. Yes,
Yeah.
and that is an innovation.
It's an innovation. I'm just saying that don't limit yourself.
Yeah.
There are many things with what is existing already. You can do
Absolutely.
many things. Don't take mine though. Mine is strawberry. I've already patented it. That's the right way to do it.
And innovations don't need to be a big deal. Like when we
Exactly.
think innovation, we always think that it needs to be something huge.
Yeah.
You know, it can be a very,
Very
small
little.
tweak that makes a difference.
You
Just
just
like
make
the
juice
strawberry in your
of the
sanitizer.
strawberries, put it in the sanitizer.
There you go.
Desiree, over to you. What are they
Yes,
saying?
thank you, Isak and Afra. Thank you so much for that insightful presentation. You know, when you said you've got to breed these habits, and I think back of that quote, it was Gary Player. I'm giving my age away, yeah? But when somebody said to him, so you are so lucky, you know, when he won another international golf award, he said, yes, the more I practice, the luckier I get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
So,
beautiful.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes,
so
that's what
that's-
it
the more I
is.
practice,
that to
the
me just
luckier I
says all
get.
that. So while we're waiting for questions to come in, you were talking, I mean, for every small business, cash flow is like the most important and the biggest headache for all of us.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your secret? How do you do that? Have you got some message that you can give out there of how you do that?
You know, the one thing I do is it doesn't matter how much I earn, I put a little bit away. And I think that's how you also create cash flow. You have to make sure that you've got, that you're planning a little kitty. If I look at the kind of businesses that managed, you know, to survive
Yes.
during this pandemic,
Yeah.
what they had is they had a bit of
Resource.
reserves, because that gives you the opportunity to keep stuff. It gives you the opportunity to quickly respond to an innovation, to do something new, to change a business process, to actually address what's going on. So I think that's one thing I do.
Yeah.
And I recently have gotten into making sure that I accomplish 3 things a day. And one of those 3 things is to ensure that at the end of each day, I check in to see what have I done that is a revenue generating activity.
Yes.
Because with this thing, there are so many things that you can do that by the end of the day, you're like, yes, dus ek was daarom productief, maar daar's niks in die bank, right? So it's things like taking my cell phone and now having it on Do Not Disturb between 8 and 5 p.m. The only thing that can come through is a phone call, because my son can call me and I want to make sure that he can reach me. But apart from that, it then requires me to act upon. You know, I have to go and pull my phone if I want to see what's on WhatsApp or what else there is. So cash flow is managing everything that comes into your business and managing everything that goes out of your business. You know, often we are relieved when something gets paid. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you're in a small business and you don't know when your money's coming in. When that dollar comes in, you're like, oh, thank you, it's my time. Let me go and spend. You know, and that's fine. It's a necessary thing to do. It's important for people. But before you spend, save.
Yes.
Before you spend, save. Take 10%. Choose a percentage. Choose an amount of every amount that comes in, and just put that aside, because that gives you the power of choice. That allows you to consider: can I take on this new opportunity? Can I invest in this business that is now folding because of what has happened? Can I take the opportunity to take this business on, bring it into mine, and make mine more successful? That's what helps you determine or have that capability. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you definitely did.
Okay.
And then with innovation in a small business, I mean, it's a big word, and it's easy for big companies with huge budgets to sit and brainstorm and think about innovation and all that. But when it comes for a small business to sit and work with that idea of innovating on a daily basis, and I think part of that, what you said, is what makes it easy for customers to approach me or buy from me. But also as I said earlier, the market has just become so much smaller. So your competitors there are just so many more, and everybody is doing price cuts. So price is not the thing. So you've got to innovate.
Yeah.
So apart from that, how do small businesses go about thinking about innovating?
So innovation is a specific kind of thinking. It's creative thinking, but in order to come up with new ideas. It's finding a way to go to market earlier,
Okay.
spending less time busy with, other things. So it's really that thing of going back into discipline, because very often we think that creative thinking is some big thing.
Yeah.
But it isn't really. It's really just a little tweak. It could be it could be the strawberry in the sanitizer. It could be me sitting down and recognizing that on a daily basis I need to manage my target. I need to be clear about what revenue is coming in. How do I increase my revenue?
Yeah.
It might be seeing more clients. It might be seeing clients differently.
Yeah.
It might be looking at, in our world, it's very much face-to-face. Finance is an extremely personal thing. Most people do not want to share that in public, and they want to sit next to you. Me, usually they want to be very far because they say I'm a bully. But, there's that interaction that you want to create. Now, when you're in lockdown, what do you do differently so that you create space to do new things? So it might be setting up online meetings. It might be having Zoom calls. So I think when we look at innovation, we mustn't spend too much time getting bogged down into it has to be some big thing. But what's one small tweak? And you know it actually. Because we have issues in our businesses because we haven't concentrated on these things.
Yeah.
For example, having a template in terms of how, so for me,
Yes.
how I run my annual reviews,
Yes.
right? I have clients whom I see on an annual basis. It shouldn't take me longer than half an hour. Right? And I should be prepared for that
Yeah.
meeting. So one client, for example, with whom I had an annual review and who always comes through, calls me and says, you know what, how about you sort out everything on your end and just have me sign the documents when I come in? I was like, okay. And that was just, it was a small tweak. What did it require? It required me preparing a day earlier so that I could have certain tools in place and so that I could have an intelligent conversation about how we take things forward.
Yeah.
But it is a constant interaction with your customer,
Yeah.
because you're absolutely right. Price is not the differentiator,
Yeah.
but people go to you because of who you are. So capitalize on who you are, and see what will make your clients' life easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then the last question is about liquidating assets to raise cash. Have you got examples for a small business? What can they look at to liquidate?
So let's take this small business, Conserve, right?
Yeah.
We would not have been sitting in a room like this doing something online. What did we have? We had huge events everywhere. So what do you have? You've got loads of chairs, you've got loads of tables, you've got couches and things like that, and you fill spaces up. You have lots of microphones because you've got all these events. So what would you have to do? You might need to downsize. You might need to change your business model. You might need to say, okay, I can't have full-time employees because I don't have the income that's going to fund those full-time employees. So I might reduce my staff. I might give them part-time positions. And what can they do with the extra time that they've got? Because
Yes.
look at this kind of industry. I am a fossil. I do not understand these things. When people ask me to do a quote for hosting online or hosting in person, I say, same price, baby. Because actually, I must now manage comments over here. I must chat with you. And I mean, you guys are great. What you're doing is absolutely amazing. But it takes a lot from you. So how many of those people who have the skills would be able to interact with those of us who don't have the skills and offer us opportunities to make more use of online at a cheaper cost, etc. So that's just one example I can think of. I've heard of, and I don't know if this is true because you know our social media, but I've heard of big stores, retail stores that are going to close. I think Werk en Voort is one.
Yes.
And
They're moving. They're not closing down.
Oh, Werk en Voort is moving. Okay.
Well,
All right. Now, if they were closing down, they've got nice things, right? But those nice things might not be what all of us can afford. Maybe there's an opportunity for a smaller business to still be able to import those wonderful products at a cheaper price because they don't have huge overhead costs, etc., to cover, and we can still make money. If a big spa grove is closing down, maybe it's moving towards much more smaller businesses. There's one opening up in Klein Windhoek right behind the Klein Windhoek supermarket. Maybe we're looking at repurposing in smaller ways, so still being able to offer the same service, but in smaller ways because we can't get together as much anymore. Yeah?
Okay. And then there's somebody that actually would like you to share a template for cash flow management. But you can address that on the Discord platform.
Yeah, okay. I'll find something and I can share it on the
Yeah,
platform.
I'll send you the link, and then you can answer. It's Franco. He
Franco,
would like
okay.
that, and I'm sure everybody else on the platform would
Okay,
love
cool.
to have that. But
We
maybe
shall
you
do
can
so.
give them just an outline of how they can do that,
Yes, I will do that.
and that can be new clients for you.
Those can be new clients for me, yes.
Yes.
But I don't come for free, only for Standard Bank.
Okay, before we move on to our next speaker, we'd like to introduce to you our winner of our second competition. And she is also here with us today, and it's Ravioli Cooper. And Ravioli wins, her prize is $10,000 towards building an online platform or a website.
There we
From
go. Look
Standard
at that. Wow.
Can you just tell the world in what industry you are in? I want you to say it yourself.
Yes, thank you so much. We are in fire safety and security services. It's a one-stop safety services that we are providing. We have branch in Kobabas as well as in Okahania. So we want to target the whole of Namibia soon. It's in the 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they can buy an extinguisher from online when we give you that platform.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Yes, we will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are thinking of
Yeah.
manufacturing as well.
Just press a button, fire will be put out. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, congratulations. Why I said you must say in which industry you're in. Nothing is impossible. You are not limited to just have a coffee shop or a cook and tea type of business. Everything is for everybody. And you are a prime example of that. Congratulations once
so
again.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
All right. Yeah.
We're going to have another short break, just for 5 minutes before we move on to our next speaker. And that's all the questions. Oh, there's another word, Afra.
Yes.
Resilience.
Yes.
Resilience. And she says here, God is the Lord. God, the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the deers.
He makes my feet
Like the deers.
Oh, wow,
That's
yes.
Yeah.
reading
Springbok.
from. Yeah,
This is
Springbok.
Springbok, that's
Yes, so resilience is the other word that's come
Awesome.
through.
Good.
Awesome.
Okay, so we'll break for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See, now I can check.
Is my-
Kwakuna hala, kubanga hala, kwakuna hala, kubanga hala.
I believe in Standard Bank.
It can be.
It can be.
You can make it happen. You can make it happen. You can make it happen. We're racing the bar. We're thinking forward. And we're raising our people. Driven to win. Being proactive. Working in teams. Serving the clients.
I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. That it can be.
We'll be moving forward. Never, never morning. Plenty, plenty respect. Everybody's racing. And oh, Chile, it can be. It can be. Cause we're driven to win. I believe in all our hearts. I can change and build and grow. As a team, we never apart. I believe in the African soul. This is the melody. This is the sound of integrity. We're working on everyone's dream. I said it again. We're driven to win.
I believe in you and me. I
believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. That it can be.
Dit kan wees met Sannerbaan. Ons bloed is blauw, behoud die Spangees. Dit kan wees met Sannerbaan. Ons bloed is blauw, behoud die Spangees.
Bankasa, Standard Bank, Kubura Ikarengoso. Bankasa, Standard Bank, Kubura Ikarengoso.
Om de kera, wadating omsna. Sadati, abote ikeira. Om da kera, wadating omsna. Sadati, abote ikeira. Wakuna hala, kubanga hala. Wakuna hala, kubanga hala. Wakuna hala, kubanga hala. Wakuna hala, kubanga hala.
We believe in our deepest promises, making possible our people's dreams. We believe in our Namibian soul, our focused minds, our human hearts. Standard Bank. It can be. Oh, Kahu. It can be.
I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. That it can be. It can be. It can be. It can be. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. I believe in you and me. I believe in destiny. I believe in where we're going. I believe that it can be. That it can be. It can be. It can be. It can be.
Pamoja Records.
That it can be. That it can be. It can be. It can be. It can be.
Pamoja Records.
I believe in Standard Bank. It can be.
Anachomberi mehira uchina. Anachomberi mehira inahina. Over heavy, over heavy. Oh, hey, we can make it happen. We can make it happen. You can make it happen. You can make it happen. We're racing the bar. We're thinking forward. And we're raising our
Thank you and welcome back from another break. This time it's not a lipstick break, something else. Yeah, we are now into the last part of our business online talk, and we are going to give the opportunity to my sister. They say change is the only constant. Yes. Well, the only constant is change. Now, on this webinar, the only constant is Felicia. She will be here until we finish this, towards the end of this year. She is the manager for Enterprise Direct. She manages a group of people whose job is to make sure that the SME business people migrate digitally, that she services them digitally, SMS, email, internet, and all of those. And then, once they are there, she takes them all the way for them to become corporates. Yes. Because you don't want to be an SME forever. You must have dreams and aspirations so that you can transcend towards the next level of your business. And as I said in the beginning, it's about Namibia. You see, if you are an SME, you will only employ 3 people. But the moment you become a corporate, those 3 become 300. You create more employment, you put more money into the economy, there's more growth, and everybody is happy at the end of the day. So, Felicia, we welcome you once again, the only constant, and we give you the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Isaac.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, teams at the branches that are also watching. We appreciate for you to dial in and take the time to listen to our presentation for today. I just want to tag on Isaac's comment about growing your business. We actually reviewed our figures for end of 2020, the year that nobody wants to talk about. And we discovered that we've actually grown 129 businesses to corporates last year at the end of December and migrated them to corporate. So there is light in the tunnel. It's about working hard, but most of all working smart in growing your business. So with that, we've included our toll-free number. It's not a funny number. It's the new MTC toll-free numbers, 92510, if you need to get some assistance in terms of business-related queries, and alternatively, for those of you that is most probably more like me, that only sleeps 3 hours a night, and you do most of your business-related activities at night, you can email us at the Namibia Enterprise Direct at standardbank.com.na as well. So with that, there's just 4 topics that I will brush over. A lot of it has been touched by Afra and Norbert, and thank you so much for that valued inputs that we've received for today. It's always nice to hear fresh views, fresh takes on things, and then collaborate at a platform like this to come up with solutions, not just for ourselves as Standard Bank, but for Namibia at large. We just remind you of our tagline and what our vision for SMEs are, is we say in Standard Bank, Africa is our home and we drive her growth. So with that, also understanding that Namibia is my home, and through SMEs, we drive her growth. So maybe the president will tell me it's he, but I refer to she. So for today, it's just baseline in terms of this word innovation is such a huge word for a lot of us as SMEs, as entrepreneurs. We hear about this word innovation all over the show when we listen to LinkedIn webinars. We hear it on Facebook. We see it all over. But what does it really mean? Afra shared a slide with us saying that it's repurposing as well. So just in terms of innovation, the focus is on the 3 core elements of innovation is searching for new ideas and opportunities. And opportunities is sometimes also a word that baffles us all. Yeah, well, opportunities where? And opportunities how? So just to give some context in terms of opportunities and ideas is the examples that has already been given by Afra as well as Norbert. Isaac made a few of his examples of putting that strawberry into the sanitizer. I would be the first one that buy when you go to production, please. Because, hey, there's some sanitizers there, you think you're fucking some alcohol or something that some shops hold. But that is just the idea of innovation. I think long gone are the days that we say that innovation is thinking out of the box, you know, that tagline as well. But rather to be on the lookout for trends and changes that can affect your specific industry where you are operating in. So industry for SMEs is also like a swear word in Namibia, because we know that most of the closed corporations are registered for every type of service that you can think of on their registration documents, and diversifies very quickly and very agile. And it's actually a good thing, because in Namibia, because of our population size being so small, being diverse and flexible and fluid, I'm stealing words from Norbert now, being fluid in an industry and an economy like we're having right now is exactly what we need. So you have it in you to change, to improve, to look at what are the societal, the economic, and the technological asks that people are asking in your industry. So I think it's a call to all entrepreneurs to do a little bit of deep dive and research and just talk to your customers. What are those things that they would like to see? Maybe you are in the fast food industry. Maybe they would like to call you online and, place an order that is delivered at their doorstep other than standing in a queue. Maybe you should diversify into that. Alternatively, if you are doing logistics, are you picking up only at certain spots that's actually not the hot spots, but the spots that is difficult for people to attain either via a taxi or alternatively by foot? So drop off and pick up spots for transportation. And then also, if we look, we have such a diverse market in SMEs. There's always this question that is posed to me on various platforms. So Felicia, SMEs, what would you say is the predominant industry? There's no predominant industry in Namibia's SMEs. You would find one SME entrepreneur that is diversified in 6 types of businesses and industries. And that is what makes us as a Namibian population so versatile and I think fluid. Fluid is the right word for me for this year. I'll be stealing that word from you, Norbert. Thank you so much for that. And I just want to leave you with this thought before we move on to the next slide from Jeffrey Immelt. The only source of profit, the only reason to invest in companies or businesses or SMEs in the future is their ability to innovate and their ability to differentiate. So it's one thing to innovate, but it's a total set of new skills to be different. So when we did roadshows prior to 2020, I usually say this at trade forums and so on, that we have this tenacity in Namibia that if we see kapana is selling, then we have 20 kapana stalls in the same street. And all of the kapanas in that same street taste the same. So now what will differentiate you as an SME provider, whether service product or alternatively ability to connect people is also now the third stream that's coming out nowadays. Is connecting people is a third stream. So we have products, we have services, and then we have the ability to connect people with demand and product. So those things, what are differentiating you that people choose your service, product, skill, or ability to connect? So nowadays, then the next question comes up, in line with this innovation, there's this thing of, okay, now I need to maybe rethink my business and I need to invest in something new. But the main concern for any entrepreneur is, how do I manage my finances, even through change? So I've just blotted out a couple of things, and I will not go in deep dive into them, is keep your business and personal finances separate. Norbert also mentioned that the personal individual should be separate from the entity, the business. And it allows you to make business decisions in your business and make personal decisions in your personal individual capacity as a father, as a mother, as a husband and as a wife and so on. So making it easier to manage and navigate through these difficult times when you need to manage your finances. And also in terms of keeping business and personal finances separate, also asking yourself this very important question before you spend or click that button to e-wallet, blue voucher, PayPal, or whatever the case may be, is that you make sure that you ask yourself this question: is it a want or is it a need? All right. Okay, yes. They just say, I'm laughing because they're just saying to me that I'm looking into the wrong camera. So you most probably got my cheek the whole time, so sorry for that. The second point of being, develop a plan for your business and your personal finances. And yes, plan is also one of those swear words in an entrepreneur's language. I've engaged many of them. If you ask them, what's your plans? And then it's like, okay, you've just sweared at me. But the thing is, if you don't have a plan, where are you navigating towards? Where are you navigating from? How will you as an entrepreneur assess yourself at the end of the year or your financial year and say, I have achieved what I've set myself to achieve? If there's no plan and you are just maneuvering. We know most that maneuvering things, ne? So, and then also the other one that nobody wants to talk about and the one that the banks grind you on a lot is the other swear word, the big one, the business plan. So for us, it is very important as an entity that wants to facilitate your growth by way of finances and loans, to understand where is your thought train in terms of taking your business. What is your vision? Where do you want to achieve growth? Where do you want to regress? Because we need to understand, okay, so what would be the sustainable income from this business that would then service this debt that you've incurred? Big words, but basically, what will be repaying that loan? And if we don't understand your plans, we can also not align what we give to you towards you fulfilling and growing into that corporate that you are meant to be. So, and then also in terms of that business plan, as an owner of a business, review your own business plan on a monthly basis and just to do a check-in with yourself in terms of, am I still on the right path? Is this what I want? Okay, the market has shifted in this specific industry that I am. Maybe I should realign my business plan. And a business plan should be also a document that is flexible for change and that you can adapt as your market trends are changing for your business. And then I've said, think before you spend. I'm not going to labor that point. And then do not be afraid to get help. So then there's another one. Yeah, I've put all the swear words for entrepreneurs on this presentation. You can just check. The other one is, me as the business owner, do I understand my financials of my business? Or do I hand all my invoices and all my slips to the accountant that I've never seen for the whole year? We had never had a conversation for the whole year. I tell him, look, the bank is looking for financials. Just put up the financials. He puts in whatever he feels like putting in, leaves out whatever feels leaving out. And you as the business owner do not understand whether you have made a profit or only generated income. So there's a huge difference between generating income and making a profit. Because a profit is after all your expenses. And so many times we focus on generating income, but I have put in my bank account $3 million. Yes, but you've paid out $2.79 million. So you only have the rest left. So, and only with the rest you can then service your debt. So only you qualify for only that. So understanding the differences between income and profit is a huge thing for you to understand as a business owner how to grow your business. What are those things that are eating away at your profits that you need to relook at? And then also not being afraid to get help. We have regular interventions like we have now where we do coaching, mentoring, in our engagements with our customers as well, and use that opportunity with your banker, for instance, to have that conversation. Listen to what they say. They know what they're talking about, and you must remember that the banker that you're talking to has sight of various businesses at one glow, and when they are giving you advice, it is out of the expertise of seeing what other businesses are doing to stay afloat amidst crisis circumstances like we are experiencing now. Then the next one is pay yourself a salary and stop using the profits to go to Spur and maybe take a trip to Bali. Okay, that at least those tendencies have stopped with COVID. But if you have control over, it's once again that separation between personal and business. And when you are paying yourself a salary, you would then find yourself in a situation where you can say, okay, fine, this specific contract that I've now done, I've received a bonus income because we finished earlier. So that income, I will also apportion in such a way that I pay myself a bonus. Now you can go for the Bali trip, it's fine. But please look and review that your business account is not used for personal spending and that you sort of control yourself in that area. So the guidance and the golden rule that we, especially when we talk and guide startups, is that when you receive your first income, always look towards 30% of your income should be going to servicing your debt, whatever debt that is, 20% for savings, and then 10% for social obligation. So some of them decide that they use it for tithing in churches. Some of them is maybe soup kitchens that is running in their area, or alternatively drives that is at schools, or less fortunate and underprivileged people. Because as a business owner, you have the responsibility to give back to the society that born you, isn't it? So we as Namibians, we are not so great at giving back out of where we are coming from. So that giving back to the society that has birthed you is a concept that we need to now also grab together and hold hands to uplift our Namibian economy to the point where we all come to eating of the fruits of the basket. Then moving over to the pitfalls that we should all be aware of, and I'm not also going to labor on each and every one of them, is just mentioning them, is self-discipline. The expenses really add up. So the expenses really add up, meaning, once again, establishing that want and need methodology in your spending, and that want and need would be very easy for you to establish if you have a written plan, a written purpose, a written vision. Then you become the house slave. This is most probably most of the entrepreneurs that has lived through COVID-19 at home and had to work from home. I've also been a secondary slave when we were at working from home status. So whatever you do then at home, or what you are almost at home, so you need to you need to clean, you need to cook, you need to look after the pets and all those things, and then you lose focus on making sure that your business is continuing to run. And by the end of the day, you've done all the tick sheets of the household chores, but then you maybe neglect making sure that your business is still in operation and running smoothly, creating that sustainable income. And when you are an owner of a business and you have taken that leap of faith where you no longer maybe entrepreneur on the side and you have a fixed job, but you have taken that leap of faith where you only count on your own income, make peace with it. It's lonely on top. When you are the CEO of multiple businesses, it's like that. It's just like that. Even if it's a startup business, it's like that. Make peace with it. We have people like Norbert that can coach you on how to handle your thoughts and so on, because I know of a lot of entrepreneurs that come to that point and they find themselves in psychological challenging times, especially when COVID hit, because there's nobody in the office that you can go to and say, listen, brah, can I just talk to you about this challenge that I have? It's you and you alone that needs to solve this for people that work for you. So that lonely on top is something that is near and dear to where we are right now as a country. And then there's no safety net for you as an owner to fall on. You are the safety net for everyone that works for you. When you grasp that concept as an owner of a business, you will think differently, and you'll make decisions differently to make sure that your business survives. It is way harder than it looks, and there's nobody to dump on, and it's a thankless job being a entrepreneur. Nobody thanks you, and it still feels like work, and you may end up working for a loser. So that last tagline I put in there is just for those of you that has lost faith in what you've started off with. Keep on keeping on. Fail and learn, and just continue. But do not stand still. That's what I wanted to say with that. And also make sure that you always go for it full force with everything that's in you, and do not be afraid to ask for help. Then lastly, before I end off, from a bank's perspective, how do we bring value to our customers, to our entrepreneurs, to our SMEs? I've put on what is our driving force there on the little dartboard. But in terms of our solutions, we have Trade Club. For those of you that are thinking on importing and exporting, we are connecting businesses through Trade Club. We are connecting businesses with businesses that banks with us right across the world. So if you are in importing or exporting, and say for instance, let's make this example quickly. You want to import virgin olive oil from Brazil because Brazil is the best one that you can find, then we will make sure that we get in contact with Standard Chartered Bank in Brazil and ask them who is your favorite customer that banks with you, that is legit, that is awesome, that is great, that provides this specific product. And we can then tell you, these are the list of customers in that arena that is legit, they are banking, and we can give you a reference and give them and connect you with them. So that's what Trade Club does, and that goes both ways, import and export. And if you are, for instance, an export business, you can register yourself on there. So when the world goes around, because this exists in Standard Bank across the world. So we have Stand Big and Standard Chartered Bank that is affiliated with us. And then they would also do the same with you as a business from Namibia in terms of your products or services that you provide. Then we have e-commerce that we are launching soon. It's a blue market. It's almost like Amazon. So where you can then advertise your products and services, and we will connect it to Trade Club as well eventually, and people can then digitally request for your services or product. We will be facilitating the payment mechanisms on that platform, and we are also working towards a logistic solution where we partner with logistic companies that would be delivering especially products to the various places in Namibia. Then we have, in terms from a merchant point of view, we have point of sales, PayPals. PayPals is the buzzword. And then simple solutions like Blue Wallet, Blue Fuel, and then PayPals as well. We have the app under PayPals where we do Y coding, so where you can just do that for your business and people can pay online, virtually, or just with a click of a cell phone when they are in your shop. Digital solutions. I'm the head of Enterprise Direct. We look after SMEs, and we are called a virtual bank because we engage our customers via telephony, WeChat, WhatsApp, and email. So we are soon going to launch the WeChat part with our Chinese counterparts because they're not so familiar with WhatsApp, but we do video calls and then also team calls as well when we engage you and your business. So you don't have to leave your business, you don't have to leave your construction site to engage with us and do your banking. Then loans and capital loans, we also do that. And then in terms of insurance, just wanting to ask you this very question in terms of the insurance is, have you thought about, now that we've seen what COVID can do, have you thought about the succession plan for your business? If you die today, who's taking over your business? Is that person trained up? Is that person covered? Is your business covered? Is the loans covered that you have? And it shouldn't only be your business loans that you have with banks, but there might be supplier loans that is not covered. And those are the things that you should start thinking of as an entrepreneur. And then lastly and not least is also contract financing that we do that is tailored to the contract that you have engaged in. So the intervals for the payment is aligned with whatever that contract says that you are receiving the payments. And then to conclude, we also have our schemes that we've been sharing with you in the last session. So the next call for proposals on the UNDP scheme, where there is grants as well as a loan package that we offer, is for the tourism and the manufacturing industries that we're going out with in March. So just keep in tune with our Facebook page. We will be launching that soon in terms of the information that we require, as well as how do you apply to benefit from those loans and grants. And please remember, those grants are not for, they are given with the intent to grow your business, and they are not repaid. So please make use of the opportunity. Once again, there is a huge focus on SMEs to grow your businesses, to make sure that we ignite, as we've said last time, the Namibian economy, but also make sure that we empower sustainable growth through these initiatives that we embark on. Thank you so very much, and over to you, Isaac.
Thank you very much, Felicia. Very insightful. Do this. You know, don't mind the color of the complexion. We are,
Top deck.
we are brother and sister. Top deck. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of our presentations, but I suppose there should be questions that our audience have asked. If you could just run us through.
Okay. You've answered most of what has come through, and I think we're running out of time. But there's one thing. You as a bank want to do the minimum service thing. And with COVID happening, a lot of business had to change their business plans. They had to revisit everything that they're doing. Is the bank accessible for every single business owner to come and see you? Because obviously most people are sitting with downsizing. They've still got huge overdrafts, obviously not the income that they should have. Is the bank there for them to sit with them and work through this whole process?
So yes, definitely the bank is there. However, if a customer, for instance, is in Ongwediva, we are only so many that is left.
Yeah.
We would then arrange with the branch manager of Ongwediva branch, for instance, to let the customer come in, and then we still do a Teams call. So everything, we are live, they see our faces, we go through the documents that the customer would have been bringing in, we have the engagement, the customer can see us, we can see the customer, and we still engage the customer in that fashion. Unfortunately, Desiree, we've come to a point in banking, and I think across industries, where we have to adapt to this change. We can no longer do business as usual. We can no longer hold hands and hop in the park on a daily basis. We can no longer go and hold big gatherings. You saw we were in lockdown, and then we came out of lockdown, and then we were at 200, and then we went back to 50, and all these things. And there was also talks about the new strain of COVID that is like unique to Africa again, and all these things are all over the place. So we must be vigilant in terms of how we make sure that the business continues, whether it is the customer's business or whether it's the bank's business that continues. And by that vigilant thinking, we need to adapt to this change, unfortunately. The world is changing, and the next thing in our next sessions that we will be talking about is also robotics. And it's happening, whether we like it or not. It's the digital era that has arrived. We can either embrace it but we can definitely not hide under a bed anymore. We just need to move forward on that.
Yeah, no, I understand all of that, but there are a lot of small business out there that, with everything that has happened, had to now upskill and get devices, a smart, for instance. They might not have had a smartphone to do all these things that they have to do because they can't go into the bank. So that was additional expenses for most businesses
Yes,
to change,
yes.
to be able to do things virtually and be able to doing it online, new programs, devices, whatever, as I say, which is additional expense. And unfortunately, for most small, for the SMEs, it's not possible. They don't have that kind of money or funding. So, do you foresee that there will be this huge divide eventually, because you either going to not make it if you don't innovate, which you've said, you will be doing business with businesses that innovate.
I think it's the concept is the same as like the savings book that you still had to write in. You know, you had 10 cents left and now you have 3 cents left, and you've put in 50 cents and now that's the new balance. So that was the same type of concept that was alive in the Namibian economy, but then came NamPost and created a card that works with biometrics because of the fact that we have challenges like literacy. Not everyone can remember a PIN, not everyone can read and write, but then they created that. So the digital age will always cater for the less fortunate. That's one. Secondly is we have not solutioned in such a way that we do not cater for those that cannot afford a smartphone, for instance. That's why on our ATMs, we've enabled them in such a way that they can still receive cash deposits. So it's to cater for that intermittent need of still making the small deposits on a daily basis, but you don't have to stand in a queue. You can go visit that ATM now any time of the day to go and do your deposit. You don't even have to sort your money. You just put it in and there it goes. So unfortunately, we cannot stand still with the savings book concept. We need to move forward as the world is moving forward as well.
Yeah, no, I know it's difficult. People still ask me, okay, so you're having this conference or online talk, where do I need to be? Behind your laptop or behind your phone?
It's a constant awareness, it's a constant education, it's a constant let me show you how, it's a constant let me hold your hand, but it's not a constant we will leave you behind. I don't believe that's in anybody's intent to leave anybody behind.
Yeah.
But we are here, we shoulder you, we'll hold hands, we'll explain it to you 25,000 times, it's fine. But we need to move forward.
Yeah. Okay, now we can maybe just put that slide on of where to reach Felicia at Standard Bank, her telephone number, the toll-free line, and the Enterprise Direct, the email number, for clients to get hold of them if there are any questions about the services that they offer. So thank you so much, Felicia, for that.
Thank you.
And I think with that we can wrap up. Isak, is there anything from your side?
No, except to thank everybody, to thank yourself, Desiree.
Thank you.
We have not introduced you at the beginning. Desiree runs the Businesswoman of the Year Awards, the Katuka Mentorship Program, and many other empowerment programs for women particularly. She is very passionate about that. And maybe it was good to keep it this time, up to this time of the day, so that people, that's what they take home. But thank you very much. Afra, thank you very much, the internationalist. We appreciate that you could make the time. Norbert, Pastor, I've given you another task. You must go out. It's a calling, I think. Please go out there. Even try it once if you must. Yeah.
Thank you.
Felicia, thank you very much. Resident presenter. We'll be here again next month.
Yes.
Desiree will tell us when. She will communicate the dates.
Yes, I also just want to thank the presenters. You've done it brilliantly. I think our listeners or viewers can all take home on innovation, what you can do with innovation to solve your problems easily, increase your productivity, increase your products, market your business, and also to be a little bit better than your competitors, to put yourself up front there in the market and go and do your thing. Then from the IT side, from Brian and everybody in the background who's running